Good evening.
Figure out how to get in.
Good evening. I'm opening the meeting of the Bristol Township Planning Commission. I'd like to welcome all those in our viewing audience and those in attendance. If you would kindly stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you remain standing, to keep in mind our troops that are in harm's way, our prisoners of war, our killed in action, our missing in action, for all those suffering from the effects of the war of Ukraine, and any personal attentions you may have. Thank you very much. Commissioners, we have two items on the agenda this evening. The first one would be the consideration of the approval of the minutes from the January 19th meeting. You have a copy of those minutes. You've had an opportunity to review them. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a
Second.
second? Moved in second. Comments or questions? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. The second item on our agenda is consideration of proposed ordinance amending Chapter 205 zoning of the Code of the Township of Bristol relating to A6 residential conversion and A9 group home uses. For the record, I will read this ordinance. An ordinance of the Township of Bristol, Bucks County, Pennsylvania, amending Chapter 205 zoning of the Code of the Township of Bristol relating to A6 residential conversion and A9 group home uses. Whereas the Council of the Township of Bristol is empowered to adopt ordinances of the Township pursuant to the Pennsylvania First Class Township Code 53 P.S. number 56502, and whereas the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code authorizes the Township of Bristol to regulate permitted uses on private property through zoning 53 P.S. number 10604. And whereas the Council of the Township of Bristol believes amendments to the regulations for A6 residential conversion and A9 group home uses contained in Chapter 205 zoning are necessary to protect the health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the residents of the township while providing for the appropriate storage of motor vehicles. Now, therefore, the Council of Bristol Township, Bucks County, Pennsylvania does hereby ordain and enact the following. Number one, Sections 205-22, 205-25, and 205-28, the permitted uses for the R-1, R-2, and R-3 residential districts, respectively, shall be amended so that use A6 residential conversion is removed from the respective subsection C, conditional uses, and included in the respective subsection B, special exceptions. Number two, Attachment 1, Table of Use Regulations, shall be amended to reflect that the use A6 residential conversion is permitted by special exception in the R-1, R-2, and R-3 residential zoning districts. Number three, Section 205-16.A.9 is amended to read as follows. A9 group home, a residential dwelling unit used as living quarters by any number of unrelated persons specifically designed to create a residential setting for the mentally and physically handicapped, as that term is defined in Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, as amended by the Fair Housing Amendments Act of 1988. The following criteria shall be met. A, the applicable regulations of the United States of America, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and/or the County of Bucks governing this specific use shall be met. B, all certifications and/or licenses issued by the United States of America, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and/or the County of Bucks for this specific use shall be obtained prior to the granting of a permit by the zoning officer. C, the minimum space and occupancy requirements of 120-6, space and occupancy of the Code of the Township of Bristol shall be met. D, recovery houses. A recovery house is a group home where any number of individuals reside together, either by court order or voluntarily, in order to recover from drug, alcohol, and/or substance abuse, which serves as a transitional environment between rehabilitation facilities and reintegration into their future lives. This definition shall also include sober houses or sober living environments. This term does not include roomers, boarders, lodgers, members of a family, except those protected as suffering from a handicap under the provisions of Section 3602H and 3604 of the Fair Housing Act, or any other use otherwise defined, described, or regulated in this chapter. 1. Prior to the issuance of any permit or certificate of occupancy, all recovery house operators must provide proof in a form acceptable to the township that they are a member in good standing and in compliance with all the rules and/or regulations of the following recovery home associations: Pennsylvania Alliance of Recovery Residences, the National Association of Recovery Houses, and the Bucks County Recovery House Association. Annually thereafter, each operator must provide similar proof that they remain a member in good standing and in compliance with all the rules and/or regulations of the recovery home associations listed in this paragraph. E, the township shall conduct inspections to ensure compliance with all subsections of this use. F, a request for a reasonable accommodation for this use as required under the Federal Fair Housing Act as amended by providing an exception to the maximum number of unrelated persons living in a dwelling unit and/or restriction to the R-1 commercial or neighborhood commercial districts only shall automatically be granted if the following standards of conditions are met. 1, all requirements under subsection A, 9A through D of this section. 2, in R-2 through R-4 districts, group homes shall have 10 or fewer residents. 3, a property containing a group home shall be a minimum distance of 300 feet from any other property containing a group home. Nothing in this provision shall limit the township from granting other reasonable accommodations for this use where the requested accommodation is consistent with the health, safety, and welfare of the Bristol Township residents. Whenever the requirements of this ordinance are in conflict with other requirements of the ordinances of the Township of Bristol, the most restrictive or those imposing higher standards shall govern. The provisions of this ordinance are severable. If any section, clause, sentence, part, or provision hereof shall be held illegal, invalid, or unconstitutional by any court of competent jurisdiction, such decision of the court shall not affect or impair any of the remaining sections, clauses, sentences, parts, or provisions of this ordinance. It is hereby declared to be the intent of the Council of Bristol Township that this ordinance would have been adopted if such illegal, invalid, or unconstitutional section, clause, sentence, part, or provision had not been included herein. This ordinance shall become effective immediately. Commissioners, you have heard the ordinance as presented and read. I would entertain a motion for approval of this ordinance.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved in second. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you, Commissioners. Commissioners, having nothing else on our agenda, before I adjourn, I would like to wish all the residents of Bristol Township a happy St. Patrick's Day, because we're all Irish on St. Patrick's Day. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Moved in second. Comments or questions? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.